Many of you may be feeling anxious. You've now made it to CTA or your final year. You're almost there. You're about to achieve your goals and aspirations and start working, but you're scared about the year. Hi, my name is Uklandim Shungane, Chartered Accountant and Learning Strategist. In this video, we'll be talking about 5 important steps that you can implement today in order for you to become successful in your CTA or in your final year. Now, at the core of what we'll be talking about today is the importance of having the correct mindset, having a routine that's consistent, and lastly, cultivating a belief system that can help you become successful. Once you understand these themes and are able to implement the 5 steps that we talk about in this video, you will be in a better position to be able to be successful in your CTA or final year. Make sure you watch till the end so that you can get the necessary knowledge and skills in order for you to become successful. Now, look, let's go straight into it. The first element that you need to understand is you need to have the correct mindset. Now, perhaps you're sitting here today and you've had a myriad of stories from your friends or people who have passed. For example, they might tell you about horrific stories that they have about tests and exams where it didn't go well. Or maybe they understand about traumatic stories on lecturers and tutors where they were unable to teach the topic correctly. Now, you might be feeling scared and understanding the difficulties of those that have passed and ask yourself, can I actually be successful if all these people are saying it's difficult? Now, as you listen to these people complaining and scaring you about CTA or final year, make sure that you don't take everything they say to heart. At the end of the day, your ability to become successful in CTA will be driven by your strategies and your commitment and dedication throughout the year. With the correct resources and strategies, you will become successful and have the necessary confidence to be able to conquer CTA or your final year without the need of having all these negative experiences happen to you. So, very important that you need to have a positive mindset. Surround yourself with people who are positive so that you can become successful. The next step that I would do is that you then need to understand what you know and what you don't know. By far, this is one of the most important elements if you want to be successful in your CTA or your final year. Let's face it, when you get to CTA, there's simply not enough time for you to be able to go back and study the material that was covered in prior years. However, it will be examined. So, what do you need to do? So, you can implement what I used to do, which was a deep dive in understanding where am I weak. So, I used to take every single subject that I'm going to be doing that year. And for each subject, what I would then do is understand what are the different learning areas. For each learning area, I would then rank it from a scale of 1 to 10. 1 representing the fact that I don't know this information at all, where 10 represent I'm actually good, I understand this material, and I could write it tomorrow even if I didn't study. This understanding of each learning area and understanding where you are strong and where you are weak will then guide you, because what you then need to do is that at least prior to when CTA classes or when final year classes begin, you then need to address all those weak areas. So understand where the weak areas are and put in measures in place to address those weak areas. Now, how do you go about doing this? Well, there's a variety of methods that you can employ. The first of which is engaging lecturers and tutors, making them understand where your weak areas are and coming up with plans with them in order to address them. Another more efficient one, especially before the classes commence, is that you can actually go back, look at the prior year lecture material, look at the prior year lecture content in any past examination and tutorials, redo those exercises, and make sure that you tighten up and understand that technical side of that topic. Once you've mastered the technical side of those topics that you are weak in, you will then have the necessary confidence to then commence with your CTO final year. And you'll be able to understand any new additional topics that will surely be added on when classes commence. Now, once you've then done this, the next step is then you need to apply a consistent study routine. Now, by far, one of the most important elements if you want to be successful is being consistent. The successful students in CTA as well as final year have a consistent study schedule and they are able to prepare well in advance for your test and exams. If you're only going to start studying a week or two before test and exam, you will be in trouble in your CTA or your final year. So at the core of being consistent is creating a timetable for yourself. Now, what I used to do is that in my timetable, I would list each and every subject, and for each subject, I would then outline when the lectures are, when the tutorials are going to happen, and then I would understand when I would post read and when I would perform those tutorials and examination questions under exam pressure, and when I would consult. In addition to that, I would also add ancillary activities such as eating as well as exercising. And at the end of this entire exercise, I'll have a fully fledged plan for the week of every single activity that I need to do, including the time periods in which I've dedicated to do them. Now, this timetable will then hold you accountable so that you have a clear plan to study. Now, techniques that you can use in order to implement this timetable are firstly the 24-hour rule. Now, what the 24-hour rule entailed was that I used to study the material for the first time within 24 hours of when it was first introduced to me. What this did is that it allowed me to study the information while it's still fresh and made it quicker for me to consolidate it. And this was a game changer in order for me to be up to date with my work. Another technique I used was the Monday rule. Now, what the Monday rule entailed is that every week I had to make sure that each and every topic that was new and introduced for the first time that week, I was up to date. I post grade, I consolidated, I do all the tutorials, I was able to consult. Once I was in a position to say I've adequately prepared all the necessary work for every single topic that is new that was introduced that week, I was then able to say that I'm ready to write a test for that material in that week. By being able to put yourself under pressure to be able to write a test for each and every new information that's introduced to you for the first time in that week, you'll be able to keep yourself up to date, accountable, so that by the time the tests and exams actually commence, you will well prepared in order to tackle them. The next step is to have accountability partners. Now, accountability partners are all those individuals that can assist you throughout the journey in order to guide you to become successful. The most important accountability partners that you need to invest in are lecturers and tutors. Make sure that at the beginning of the year that you build healthy relationships with your lecturers and tutors because they understand the material. They will be able to guide you in order for you to become successful. Sit with them at the beginning of the year. Make them understand your goals and aspirations for the year. Make them understand your weak areas so that they can help you create a plan for the year. In addition, it's not enough just to simply go to them before tests and exams. You need to go and check in with them on a consistent basis, on a weekly basis. What this will do is that as you check in, you'll then be able to confirm principles. Secondly, you'll be able to consult on weak areas. And in addition, they'll be able to guide you because you can actually submit any tutorials that you're doing for them to review before the tests and exams commence. That feedback on a consistent basis will help you strengthen your knowledge and to be able to consolidate the information correctly so that you're adequately prepared when the tests and exams actually commence. The last step of the process that can be effective for you is then you need to believe in yourself. Now, believing in yourself entails creating the right environment and also understanding that at the end of the day, it's not a coincidence that you've made it to CTA. You've worked hard, you have the ability, you have the skills. Now it's time to implement those activities. You can do it, you have the ability. So implement it. In addition, create the right environment for you to have the right motivation to be successful. A key source of motivation can be your family and friends. Engage your family and friends. Make them understand what's happening this year so that they can also motivate you. This was a game changer for me. I engaged my parents. They were able to actually give me advice about doing well at school, even though they were not necessarily accountants. The same can happen to you. Now, hopefully, at the end of this video, you are now in a better position to understand the 5 important steps that are necessary for you to become successful. Implement these and you will be well on your way to complete your CTA year. Let's chat in the comment section. Are there any other techniques that you know about that we didn't cover? Let's talk about it. Or perhaps you want clarity on some of the topics that we talked about in this video. Hopefully, you'll be successful. I believe in you. You can do it. Until we meet again, thanks.